Hello, everybody, and welcome to OPINIONish. It is a fantastic day. It's very weird you're seeing me in this position because my buddy Travis off today. I shouldn't say off. He is out of the office, should I say. And he will return next week. But I made sure that I was in good hands. And why not have a very young, supple young hand right in front of me? Hey, look, everybody. It's Keegan Evans. He's a director of Daily Flash.
What's up? Good to be here. Good to be here.
I'm glad that you got to hang out with me today because I was excited because I want to get your viewpoint on a few things. But first, we got to introduce you to the audience. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I've been directing Daily Flash for probably the last year.
Yeah.
I've been, with KSA for 2.5 years almost now, which is crazy to think about. Started doing audio, and the current director at the time was heading out, so I was like, you know what, might as well shoot my shot, see what happens, and now we're here. So it's been fun. It's been awesome.
You've come a long way, that's for sure, and we're all proud of you here at the Flash and KSA as well. Tell everybody about where you're from. Michigan boy, right?
Yeah, yep, Michigan, little small town in Michigan, Milford. Shout out Milford, Michigan.
Milford. Now, all right, here, where is Milford?
So it'd be like kind of like here,
almost the South Central.
Kind of. So like if Detroit's kind of like down here, we're kind of more towards the middle a little bit. So. Yeah, small little town.
Isn't that great?
A few thousand people, but I love it.
I am actually from Florida, so I'm from like right here. That's the Central Florida. That's my Florida.
I see.
I'm not saying it's a good one. I'm just saying that's where I'm from. All right, well, I appreciate you hanging out here with us today, and we, of course, have a new episode of the OPINIONish every single Wednesday, and our theme for today is actually we're talking a little bit about the things what's real these days. What is actually news? What is actually real as far as stuff that you see on TV and things that you read as well? I think the biggest push right now. Have you heard a lot about this new Hantavirus?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
what
yeah.
Do you know about it? Tell me about that.
What I heard is where they were on the cruise ship, and I guess somebody had it, and it started to spread to a few people. And I remember seeing the videos of people just freaking out and just kind of like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get off this? And so they held them, and I guess they ended up letting them off the boat. Didn't know where, it was like 3 of them went. And I guess one of them ended up in the U.S. Another one, I guess, was on like some trip where they went to multiple different places. And I want to say they found him in like Argentina by the time they ended up finding. I could be wrong on that, but no, I've seen a few things about it. It's crazy. Even the fact they let him off and had to hunt him down, just wild.
So apparently Hantavirus, what I know about it in the crude sense is the fact that, and by the way, this is not a medical show. So if you tuned in saying, well, I would love to know this doctor's opinion. I know nothing about anything when it comes to health, as you can see, my perfectly formed body. But I do know that this Hantavirus, it comes from crap, from animals.
Interesting.
Which tells me somebody's eating crap.
I mean, you know what? Hey, there's some interesting things people do nowadays. So
and then you go, all right, is people actually picking up crap and eating it? And that's not necessarily the case. Crap could fall in, that's why we have health codes in these restaurants. Basically, they're saying deer mice, wild rodents, rats, moles, it can come from. And if you're hanging out with where moles are in your food, you might want to leave wherever you're at. But we are in different countries, right? And so it's actually kind of common, no matter where you're at, in these other third world countries and stuff like this happens. Get on a cruise ship, or maybe somebody visits there, which they might have accidentally eaten some, and that's where they go. Now, the controversy behind all of that is everybody's like, hold on, y'all. Hantavirus has been around for doctors are coming out saying, because they're already calling it, a pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard it's
essentially supposed to be like the next coronavirus? People think they're going to get locked in their house again. People think they're going to be, just basically the same thing over again. And I've heard multiple people say, oh, it's not the same. It's not going to be like that. But I don't know. I mean, it could.
They're saying It actually, you might have it and you won't even know up to 8 weeks after you catch is what you're saying. Now, and you hear that and you're like, all right, it's going to be the next pandemic. And you can understand why people are afraid. But you got all these doctors out here, they're saying, listen, this can be contained. Hantavirus has actually been around for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And I think we just nobody wants to go through the lockdown again. And I get that. But it's easy because what's happening right now? Where are we at? What time of year is this? Do you know?
This is, I don't know. I don't know. What is it?
midterm elections.
Oh,
Right?
you have a point. I forgot. I
So
don't know how I forgot about that.
yeah, and so there's going to be the reason I bring that up as well is that there's going to be a theme about a lot of this of a lot of distractions, and distractions are out there. And even things like AI are there to distract us. They're without going like crazy conspiracy theory kind of stuff, but it's by design. AI is set up to distract us. That's why it's telling you, like, how often do you use AI?
Recently, a lot. I mean, I feel like more and more, the more I find you can do with it, the more I tend to use it for certain
What are you
things.
using it for? Like,
I have to say, I love making the little videos. Those are fun. I found some really cool stuff for that. Just like if I got a quick question, just pop it in ChatGPT, and then rather do that than try to sit there and figure it out myself. It's a lot easier. But I mean, it's definitely better than a Google search.
I agree. And it's more personal, and it feels like you're actually talking to a person. And you put in something in your AI and you say, hey, give me a recipe on chicken. I did this weekend, right? I said, give me a recipe. I have some drumsticks. And I go to AI a lot for these recipes, and it's actually done really, really well. However, the first line of anything I ever ask, it'll say, oh, man, yeah, that's a great question.
Yep.
It's there to build us up, right?
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You've seen there's been some situations where people be asking some stuff and it be like, people end up getting arrested for the type of stuff that it's going, wow, what a genius idea. And it's just like,
great. It's awesome. I'm glad you said that. Great. Awesome. And that's what I refer to when I'm saying it's a distraction. It's distracted us from, well, it asked me a great question, so this answer has to be right. I can't tell you how many times I would say, hey, I would give it an article to read, and I say, tell me what you pick from this. And it would get dates wrong. It would get cities wrong. It would get names wrong, facts wrong. And this is what's happening right now. I pay for the extra service. And so I'm a little upset. And you'll also notice is that a lot of times AI might generate incorrect answers. You'll see that at the bottom. But it is given to us as a distraction. It's also, I think of the show Wall-E. Did you ever see Wall-E?
You talk about the movie Wall-E,
the
right?
movie Wall-E. Yeah. People just live in these worlds all together. It's entertainment, right? And that's what AI, I feel, thinks that's what we want. Why? Because we're going there to make the cool little videos. Oh, Keegan must love these videos. So, and as a collective, we're all doing that. It's starting to learn like, well, humans are really stupid. They just want to be entertained.
Yep.
For the most part, that's where we're getting it from. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I think too, it's like the things look at Instagram right now. Instagram's reels have been just completely taken over by AI, this and that. It's like, I feel like it takes somewhat of the creative aspect out of what people can really do and like what the work it takes to actually create something like that comes out that way. And it's like quality stuff instead of just typing in a prompt. And then I just feel like it takes away a lot of creativity from the people that know how to do it.
That's what worries me is I'll lose my creativity because it's a muscle, right? I mean, creativity, your brain is a muscle, and the less you use it, the less you're going to be creative. And I've already seen a decline somewhat in my creativity because I've relied on it too much. And that's why I kind of enjoy doing this with Travis, is that he brings out stuff out of me, but he makes me think of jokes. He makes me think of like situations where we feed off of each other. And that's that human interaction I don't think you can get anywhere else.
100%.
Back to the Hantavirus. The reason why we bring this out as well is that they're calling this an outbreak. And I guess you can call, when you hear those words outbreak, you think of Dustin Hoffman in that movie Outbreak, where all of a sudden it takes over the world, which, by the way, you should go back and watch and think about the coronavirus, because it is kind of scary. But already it's mainly when we hear outbreak, you would think, how many passengers are on a cruise ship?
Exactly.
Like 1,000, 1,500,
that cruise ship didn't seem that big either. Like maybe a 2,000, like you said, it couldn't be more than that. That was not that big of a cruise ship.
Okay, even if it was, so let's say 2,000, let's say 1,000, let's make 1,500 the number. Maybe I should have done a little bit more than that. But 4 or 5 people coming off, is that called an outbreak?
Right.
No. Outbreak. I mean,
look at COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Look when COVID came around. It was like thousands. It was not 4, and then they, I mean, it's that it just doesn't happen like that.
All right, to let you know, hantavirus was seen in the United States back in 1993 as the first time. It said that it was identified throughout the country. It's rare, very rare. It's a disease. However, it's potentially deadly, especially if it involves the kidneys, heart, or lungs. So those are some things you need to worry about. Some of the symptoms you might have, which could show up about 10 days later, could be up to even more longer than that, include coughing, shortness of breath, as well as much of what we had seen, things like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, all those things that, because you're on a cruise ship and a virus spreads out. Have you?
Oh yeah, I love
didn't
cruises.
you just go on a cruise a
Oh
little
yeah,
while ago?
I love cruises. Love them. Yeah, I went on one in December.
That's right.
Yep.
I remember it was just recently. And every 5 steps they were wanting you to wash your hands. At least the ones I went to. Were they that way with you?
Oh yeah, 100%. They had the the washy people singing the song. You can't forget them. But yeah, no, 100%.
Okay, and then were there constant announcements about washing your hands and staying clean and that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's like the number one thing they really harp on there. It's that and where's your muster station. If you know those two things, then you're good to go.
They have a little drill that they have before every cruise. They do that on yours. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, and they changed it now too, where you just get on, you go straight to it instead of, I don't know when, like last time you've been on a cruise, but they used to have you get on, get your luggage, and then they'd call you all down, and it's just like, I'm so happy they do it this way now because it's so much
more
easier.
Sense, right? I mean, they have to go through it, and if you're not familiar, if you've never taken a cruise, it's basically like before a flight, you have the flight attendant give you all the safety rules. That's what they do. So, are you worried about the hantavirus? I mean, you love cruising.
Honestly, no, not at all.
Right.
And something else I saw, and I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Sure,
I think this is the virus that what was it? Gene Hackman's wife ended up dying from, or they said that she died from.
Okay, I have not heard that yet, but I'll
see. I've been seeing a few just random little things about this.
Okay, and if we recall how she had died, possibly taking care of Gene, and he was not able to be taken care of anymore because she had passed. I believe that's the story.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, which says that comes from feces, from animals and stuff, right? You are right. She had the hantavirus pulmonary syndrome back in February 25. We were talking about Santa Fe, New Mexico on the show earlier today. And it is a rare rodent-borne virus which causes those respiratory illnesses. However, they did find evidence of rodents on their property, which you can imagine as well. So, when you hear that, it was like, well, she must have caught it from, they probably took a cruise or flew somewhere. And that probably wasn't the case, was it? And probably was there, they were, homebound, and maybe might have got it from the rodents.
Well, and it doesn't seem like they were very able-bodied towards the end anyway, so you never know how it could have happened. But I don't know if you remember when the monkeypox virus was, and everybody said that was going to be an outbreak like a year ago.
Yeah.
Where is it now?
It always freaks me out. Did you watch Walking Dead? Were you a fan of Walking Dead?
I have not. That's one show that I'd never watched. I don't know how, but
you don't have to watch it to know this. But they go through, because they never really explain what happened or whatever. But it starts off in Atlanta, and what's in Atlanta is the CDC, and they have all and Atlanta holds all of these viruses, all deadly viruses that, to me, I'm like, that place should be 10 times more secure than Fort Knox, especially after what we went through with coronavirus. So whether you believe it, the hype or not, that is up to you, which we understand. Is this going to stop you from taking a cruise? If we said, hey, next week we have a cruise for you, you'll still go?
Oh, yeah.
What will you do different? Will you do anything different?
Nothing. To me, it's noise. Honestly, it's just noise. It's like 4 people on I mean, it happens all the time. I think this is just one of those where it kind of caught national attention and then turned into more. But I mean, people get sick on cruises all the time. And at the end of the day, people still go on them. And how often does it really happen to where the virus leaves the cruise anyways and like becomes a thing?
Do you think now this story kind of popped out because it's panic clicks, or because they know that the audience that is watching news and that sort of thing are worried that we might go through another coronavirus?
I mean, honestly, like that right there, I think it stems from the fact that coronavirus is, to some people, I mean, I worked, funny enough, just a little side thing, I worked a show last week and they were still very much immersed in coronavirus. I mean, all masks. It was like, I felt like I was in 2020 and they were forcing people to wear masks. Now, mind you, we're in Florida, so okay, that went over.
Whose directive was that? Your company's, or
no,
the touring company?
This was the tour. So I guess the artist and the tour We weren't allowed backstage. It was very closed down. Everybody had to wear a mask. They're handing them out to everybody. I mean, it was something like I'd never seen since 2020. Wild.
All right, so if I saw that, I would think, well, somebody in their group is sick and they're trying to protect. That's what I would think. But do you know if they were doing that on completely throughout the tour, or is like,
See, I would have thought that too if it was kept to like the back. Like if they would have said,
Yeah.
okay, the staff members and this and that wear a mask. The artist is sick. Now, if the artist is sick, I don't think she'd be singing.
I agree.
But no, they literally, when I saw, they had boxes upon boxes of masks, and in Florida they never really did that. So when they were handing them out, people were like,
Why are we doing
why
this?
are we doing?
What's going
Yeah,
on?
like
And that
very
adds
strange.
to the Hantavirus, because this was last week.
This was I want to say it was like a week or two ago.
Okay.
But it was like, I want to say that wasn't like very known yet.
Okay.
It was like right before that kind of took off.
You can see how I had asked that, because I'm like, oh, oh my gosh, it's a Hantavirus. We better hurry up and protect everybody. And I could see if it was the venue, like, they want to protect themselves, but really some of those rules that came up during the coronavirus made no sense whatsoever at all. Where my favorite one was, the restaurants had to close down, but then they can open up outside and you can sit just the same close to another person than you could on the inside. It made no sense whatsoever. And nobody wants to go down that route as well. All right. So we'd love to hear from you. You can, of course, send us your opinions. You go to opinionpodcast.com, opinionishpodcast.com. Send in, tell us what an idiot I am. I'd love to hear how much an idiot that Keegan is. All right,
I would too.
All right, so moving forward here, talking about fake things. Have you heard about this Dallas Cowboy cheerleader who hired the band? Are you familiar with this?
You guys actually put me onto this story today. That is wild.
There's kind of two different layers for this. Number one is that there's a story going out. She's a supposed former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and she breaks up with her boyfriend, right? And the story goes that she was going to get back at him by paid a marching band to follow him around. Apparently, up close to like $5,000 is what the story said.
$5,000.
If you were in a marching band, you would do it.
Oh, for $5,000. If it's $5,000 per person, no question. I'm done.
I think it was $5,000 collectively. But
I would be like,
it'd make a great band fundraiser, though, wouldn't you think? Like if you're trying to raise money for uniforms, like have a band. So what she did, according to the story that you might have heard on the radio, that plays a part in just a second here. What I'm talking about is that she went to this marching band, say, "Hey, I want you to follow him around, play Jay Giles, Love Stinks everywhere he goes." Well, he gets tired of it, so he calls the cops and has her arrested. Boom. Social media jumps on this, puts a picture of the quote, former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Right.
Beautiful picture of this blonde, 5'3", gorgeous woman, and looks like a mugshot, what they have done. And I saw this story and I go, all right, that's interesting. First off, I'm like, why would she be arrested? It seems like first off, why should she be arrested? This is what my train of thought was, when it was actually the marching band breaking the law, right? Like, why weren't any of them?
I could see her, kind of maybe getting a charge or something, but like at the end of the day, would like
that sound like
in the beginning,
the marching band would say they would have to say she put a gun to our head and made us march behind, because they are complicit to the violation. Well, there was nothing about that in the article, and so that's what kind of raised my red flag on it. Come to find out, I did a Google search. Her name is Sailor Brockmeyer. Is what
very, very interesting name.
Which I think the name Sailor, I like that for a girl. I think it's really, really good.
100%.
Anyway, so I did a Google search on her. I couldn't find this article anywhere. It was only found online, which is the biggest red flag you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not finding this story in the news, that's the issue. However, where I did find it, as far as news stories go, was radio morning shows. They'll put like stories together, fun facts, so you can go by their website and check it out. Apparently didn't do any background research on this. And this was actually one of the largest radio conglomerate in the United States, which what will happen if you're, say, a morning show in Atlanta, you submit a story and then it can go nationwide. And then other radio stations will find it. They use it. It's an internal thing. And then they would use it on their morning show. So I don't know how many radio stations picked this up. From the website, it was the exact same story. They were all this conglomerate's radio station, which, by the way, one of the radio stations you're listening to right now, it has a podcasting You know who I'm talking about without me saying it, right? I mean,
Uh,
I love them. I heart them so much.
I see. I see. I know what you're talking about. I know
So,
what you're talking about.
and they also, and I'm not really faulting too much on this, but their campaign right now, iHeartRadio's, is 100% human, because they are concerned that people would think, oh, the DJs are just AI. Okay, they're going
Mhm.
after that. However, they did this story that went around. I think they stifled it somewhat, but it did go around to, at least from what I saw, about 8 radio stations. So 8 radio stations might have used that on their morning show and talked about it, yada, yada, yada. And then now we have a rumor going around, this crazy rumor, which all intents and purposes, it's fake.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if you Google the girl's name, Sailor Brockmeyer, I found other stories using her name, doing something with an X, and then getting arrested.
So she's a repeat offender.
The
Yeah,
character is.
exactly.
We don't even know if this is a real
repeat
person.
offender.
Right. Sailor is. So she's quite the sailor. She's made some waves, if you will, on that. So I think, we have to keep that in mind. Am I victim of it? 100%. I have done, I not done my facts, and I've said it on the air. However, I did go back and say, you know what? This was not true. I was wrong. I should have done better. And once bitten, twice shy. I make sure, hence why I'm telling you about this story, because I saw it on different sources from radio stations, but I couldn't find like an active news story. And if you saw
Right.
the post that they put up there, you could tell it was fake.
Oh, and do you think Jerry Jones wouldn't say anything if a cheerleader he had hired
Good point.
would have done something like that? He'd be that guy gets a spotlight whenever he can get it. He would definitely have said something.
Very good point, man. 100%. So if you don't see that, don't spread it around. Don't comment on it. If you do, just say fake, 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 fakey McFake, fake. And I even sometimes I'll see videos like on Instagram, and I'll report them, because it's even if it's nothing's going to matter in the world, this got to stop.
I mean,
And
don't
wish
get me
people
wrong.
would do it.
There are some that the funnier ones I can be for those, but like the ones where it's people trying to like make up news stories and all, like the real videos, that's where I have a problem with it. But if it's like somebody takes a show or a cartoon or a movie and they make an AI video out of that, I like it. I think those are funny. But yeah,
exactly,
the real stuff, yeah, no, I agree.
To me, that's not news. That's not fake news, right?
Right.
Because that's just entertainment.
Mhm.
But this is kind of passing along. As funny as the story might be, it's still fake news.
100%.
And if we don't stop it now, it's like maybe these social media places will go, wow, I mean, we're getting a lot of people, maybe there's like a conglomerate of reports of how many things have you allowed on your social media site that was fake news that you never did anything about. That's why I think it's important to report them, even as stupid as it is.
And Instagram, actually, this week, it seems like they're starting to really crack down on bots and stuff like that, and fake stuff. And they've removed a lot of people's followers and things that were fake accounts and all that. So seems like they're really starting to crack down on it finally.
I think that they're going to need to. They're going to be held accountable.
100%.
Let's say, if you're out, and I bet you dollars of donuts, that story was even created by AI.
Oh, 100%.
Because it is pretty creative. And to the point where I'm like, the person is probably who posted this is not smart enough to have figured out that this would be, what's the word? Viral,
Well, what kind of time are you going to put into making up a fake story about a dust? Like, you got some crazy time on your hands if you can do that.
It's like throwing at a dartboard and just kind of like, all right, Dallas Cowboy, marching band, and then making a story of it, which, if you think about it, that's pretty much what, if you ask AI to make up a crazy story, it's just going to grab the craziness out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have you fallen victim of an AI story before? Tell us which ones are out there that are fake. There's a great website before the AI kind of stuff went out called Snopes. Have you ever gone there? SNOPES.
I have not heard of that before. I'm going to have to look that up.
Okay, Snopes is actually, I used that before like social media got big. As big as it is now, because they would check all, like you would hear something, Mikey died from eating Pop Rocks and Pepsi, or,
right.
And you would go to that site and they'll go, absolutely not. And they'll tell you why it's fake, yada, yada. I still think that's a great, resource. And more importantly, I think there needs to be, I'm throwing this $1 million idea out. Snopes needs to be a TV show that just dispels all this crap so it'll stop, right?
I was just thinking, this came to mind, another aspect of those videos that I think is just going to become a problem if the wrong people do it is, I don't know if you've seen the videos where this guy will walk up to a random person. He'll take a picture of them and then he'll like make a video of him like
I
breaking into
have
his
seen
car.
this.
And there was
Yeah.
actually, now that I think about it, there was a video of this
Yep.
guy did it to a cop car, and he showed the cop and said, "Oh, somebody's breaking in your car." Well, cop goes out. I think he got
He
arrested.
did. I
Yeah.
remember. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a false report. If you go to a
Yep.
cop and say there's been a law that has been broken, and it's not, yeah,
Right.
that whole heart, and that guy should go to jail.
Oh yeah,
I've seen
100%.
I've seen it where where it looked like a fight was about to start because I can't remember the whole context behind it all, but it was, I think, at a grocery store. I mean, and yeah, they are kind of funny.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. There are some that
We're-
are great.
we're
But
guilty of it.
my thing is not that they aren't funny. It's that if the wrong person, like
Yeah.
for the cop car, for example, you can do it in the lines. No, there's lines there, but
Mhm.
don't go getting yourself arrested because like what's over a video? Really? I don't want to get
Yeah,
arrested
just so
over
that
a
you can
video.
get clicks too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think it should cost people clicks, and maybe they'll do less. You know, like, all right, if you're going to do stupid stuff, fine, but it's going to cost you 20 cents every
Yeah.
time somebody clicks it, and I'll be going click, 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 click.
Oh my god, yeah.
Well, you get 10 million
That would
clicks,
stop them pretty
but
quick.
$10 million.
Mhm, mhm.
That'll never happen. All right, moving forward, this is necessarily about what is real, what is not, but Stephen Colbert is his last show up, and he is no longer going to be on the show. CBS said, we're going to get out of the late night business. I am a absolute, if you know anything about me, Keegs, I am a major, big, 100% David Letterman fan. I think since I was 13 years old, he's my hero, right? And it came up to a point where Jay Leno was promised the Tonight Show, and David Letterman was overlooked. So he said, guess what? I'm leaving. And he went to CBS. CBS said, we're going to go back into the late night business. And then we had 3 shows here. Do you watch late night television?
You know, you're gonna find this interesting. You know, the one late night that I've watched probably the most of, because it's not a big thing for me, but it's what is it, Dick Cavett or
Dick Cavett.
Yep.
Really?
I really enjoy
Tell me why
his
you
show.
like that. Why?
Well, you know, honestly, how it started was I had this little thing where I was really into, like, I'd heard that whole Orson Welles story of how he tricked everybody
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
radio, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
he was on that show, and that was the first time I'd ever seen that. So then I started watching. I just find it cool to watch, like, who was popular back then,
Yeah.
and like just see how different it is to what it is today. And it blows my mind.
John Lennon, have you seen? He was on Dick Cavett one time. A very
I,
famous.
I might have. I'm trying to remember the ones
You would
I've
have
seen, but yeah, I probably have.
Yeah, well, you'd remember because it was an interesting. You know, he didn't do that much like talk shows and that sort of thing. So that was one of the reasons. I appreciated Dick Cavett as well because he was kind of. It was just really interviewing him. Tom Snyder, I also kind of enjoyed because it was just no goofiness or whatever. It was just like getting to know the other person. It was kind of one-on-one feel, and there wasn't like halfway through we'll do a bit or whatever. But from what I remember from the Dick Cavett show, that was just the case. Plus, Dick Cavett had a great voice.
Mm-hmm. Oh
he?
yeah. And just a good interview overall,
I
or a
think
good
so.
interviewer, I should say.
No one beats, of course, in my mind, Letterman. And Letterman's hero was Johnny Carson, and there will not
Another
be
legend
anybody.
right there. Oh yeah,
he is the legend. Right.
That's another one I found myself watching a few of. Just watching the really old, like when Johnny Carson first came out of the air, and just crazy to see how different it is to like then to now, and just wild.
And okay, so you got Colbert and the 2 Jimmys. If you had if you know, gun to your head, you got one of 3 choices. Which one are you watching?
None of them.
None of them.
None of 'em.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no, none of them.
I can see why Jimmy Kimmel, excuse me, not Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon does really well. He does the bits, he does the music and that sort of thing. And there's a culture for that. Kind of like he is kind of like the social media kind of feel, whereas on the other Jimmy is political, and he didn't start off that way.
Right.
I'm not going to go too far deep into Jimmy Kimmel. At one time, I kind of admired him. I think just one thing I appreciated the most about Letterman did it kind of near the end, but Carson, no politics. Of course, you made fun of the president, but both sides. There was just even. And now it's just, well, you know what you're getting when you go to each one. It's almost like a la carte late night television. It used to be something to look forward to. And
right. That's why I kind of wish is it just state of the entertainment, state of the guest, rest of it. I mean, just let everybody live their life. Like at the end of the day, it's ruining the show. And I think people are starting to see that now. And that's why some of these are starting to kind of lose money or this and that, because people want to relax. They don't want to be sitting there all, getting mad about
That's
stuff when
good
they're
that
trying
you
to watch
think
a
that
late
way.
night show.
I agree with you on that. I think it used to be just like I want to see an interview, and that's why I could see that you appreciate Dick Cavett,
Mhm.
because you just I want to find out about whoever this person is at this time, who's going to promote whatever, and it's no agenda to it as well. It seems like there's always some kind of agenda to it, and what they can get their immediate audience, just because the audience out there is laughing, is the actual audience. The bigger audience back home laughing as long as well. So I'm bringing all this up with Colbert. I appreciated him as an actor. He kind of started getting political somewhat, and of course, this presidency also felt that. He kind of went after CBS for some time. CBS said, you know what, we're going to get out of the late night game altogether, give some of that time and make it cheaper. What they're doing now is that Byron Allen, who owns the Weather Channel and has been he produces shows, he's giving these, there's no other way to say it, and I think he would say low production cost television programming to CBS, because it's not going to cost them anything, and
Mhm.
he's going to pay for it. And then he can sell advertisements inside of it. So you're not going to get the same. You've seen that game show where a bunch of comedians, and I can't recall the name right now, but Byron Allen hosts it. And the guy, by the way, Byron Allen started off as a comedian, as
Gotcha.
a young guy on a TV show called Real People, and now the guy is literally a billionaire. So I think
Wow.
he's got a great story there as well. Uh, there also used to be, but when it was Letterman and Leno, they would fight. There was a lot of like, are you Team Leno or Team Letterman, right?
Interesting. See, this is more you'll be able to tell me because this is, I want to say, probably right before my time.
Yeah, we're talking 90s,
Yep.
mid 90s. Of course, when Letterman went across the street to CBS, and they were fighting for guests. And then Hugh Grant, the actor Hugh Grant, picked up a prostitute. And since he was in LA, he saw Leno first. And at the time, Letterman was killing him in ratings. Hugh Grant, everybody wanted to see the Hugh Grant apologize, basically. And Leno, he comes out and he's like, wow, what were you thinking? And that was the first question. And ever since then, it's pretty much the NBC got the crown back and has been that way for a while. Then they tried stuff, newer stuff. Now, Lorne Michaels produces the Jimmy Fallon show. So you get that, he knows how to do television production, that sort of thing. Stephen Colbert leaving the Ed Sullivan Theater, which is amazing. And I thought this was kind of cool, though, is that Jimmy Fallon is going to go dark that night, meaning he's going to run a repeat out of respect. But that's what it says. But really, would you want to go up against a big night of programming?
Well, I was about to say, I think Jimmy Kimmel's doing the same thing where he's not going to do a
Did
new
I
show
say
that
Jimmy
night.
Fallon? I said
Yeah,
Jimmy Kimmel.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I meant Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh,
My apologies.
That's where I got that from over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So sorry, what was the question?
Well, the question is, it's not really much of a question. Do you feel like, look, no one's going to be, it's like, well, we're going to take the high road and just play a repeat, or
Right.
are you really cowarding down and say, it's coming across because there's so many mean things that were said in these late night programming. And I know that Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert are friends. Is that, are they saying to them, look, everybody's going to be watching Colbert, are we going to be even put on a good show? We might as well just run a repeat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're coming off like they're taking the high road, in my opinion.
I think you're right, though. I think, if you look at kind of the trajectory that Jimmy Kimmel's been on the last year,
yeah,
I would say they probably don't want to risk too many shows that aren't going to perform well at this point.
Yeah, and they know after Colbert's gone, they'll maybe garner some of those ratings
Exactly.
back.
Yep.
So.
They'll probably get a lot of them, honestly. So that'd be.
I guess
or more, like they're going to want to go somewhere. And we're else thinking there's only, two other options?
In programming, that is, you're cowering down because, it's like going up against the Super Bowl, right? I mean, not that everybody is going to be tuned into Colbert, but it would be interesting to see his last show, right? Some people say that. I even thought about this when we were prepping, is that I remember back in the 80s, early 80s, Walter Cronkite's last show. I remember looking forward to seeing him. Like something spectacular was going to happen. Nothing happened. It was just a regular news show, right? And he goes, that's the way it is. And he goes, thank you for the many years. And then he went off the air because that guy is a true journalist. But it's like you want to be there when, I guess is what I'm talking about. So,
especially when you see it now, a couple years later, like, oh, I watched that live. Oh, yeah, now I can, it's a different feeling than if you just see it, let's say 5 years later, it says, oh, 5 years ago today.
Yeah.
This son did, and they're like, oh,
Uh,
well, I didn't even get to see it, so
I had to watch Letterman's last show by all means, but I don't think I'll watch Colbert. And I mean, I'll watch them for what it is. I think I'm that way with anybody. Is like I know what they are. I know what I'm getting. I might not prefer him, but hey, I could see he's doing. The production is well done, so I look at it that way. I feel like though he's cowering down.
Oh yeah,
but giving the guys of, hey, let's do the respectable thing and run a repeat.
But of course they're going to say that. They want to seem like, oh, we're doing such a nice thing. Yeah, but no, it's totally for the other reason.
Trust me.
100%.
I mean, do you watch the Puppy Bowl during the Super Bowl? No. But it's nice to talk about, isn't it? It's a sweet thing. Speaking of the Super Bowl, who changed all of that and actually made the Super Bowl what it is today is In Living Color. Did you ever watch In Living Color? It was kind of like a Saturday Night Live on Fox.
I've heard of it, but I've not watched it.
The Kean brothers put it together. Jim Carrey came out of it. Tommy Davidson also came out of it. Keenan Ivory Williams came out of it as well. Anyway, what they said was, hey, we're going to put a half-hour show together that will start right when the halftime begins. So you don't have to watch the halftime. You can come watch our show, and it'll be over. When it's over, you can go back to the other network. Brilliant. Jamie Kellner, who was the president of Fox at the time, came up with this idea. Is that our sweet baby?
It is indeed.
Yeah, come in here. All right, hold on. Hold on. Let me finish this out, James, while you get all set up. Our third host decided to show up here for that.
A good 25 minutes late.
So, I'm schooling Keegan on In Living Color and the halftime. How they changed because of that. They realized, holy crap, we lost our audience during the halftime. We need to start really building this halftime show up, and that's how that actually came. That was back in the early '90s, I believe.
Hey, so who did they bring in?
Prince, wasn't it Prince?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
What are you talking about? The next year?
The next year, who did they bring in? Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson is who they brought in to keep the audience.
That's right.
You're 100% right. 100% right. Which I said Prince because he was my favorite halftime performance environment. but you are 100% right, James. And how we were talking prior to this about how late night television, Jimmy Kimmel has come out and said because of Stephen Colbert's last show, that he's just going to run a rerun. And I was talking to Keegan about how this is. No, you know what? No one's going to watch your show. You're kind of bowing. This is my opinion. You're just bowing down because no one's going to be watching your show, and you're going to give it the guise of, well, we're going to take the high road. Your thoughts on that?
I don't know if they're taking the high road, man. I think it's a joke. At the end of the day, you give people what they want. If they want to see you, they want to see you, right? So, in this case, I think there's so much stuff that was done. There are so many things that were said, and people are just kind of over it. Remember, we had this discussion about, it used to be funny when you watched the late night. Now it's not. It's just all political. It's no longer funny. It's just like it's taken away from what people actually watch the show for. Just to laugh and just kind of get that, escapism, right? So
at the end of the day,
right? But now it's just more political. It's always a political joke about something. It's kind of like, I know you want to talk about topical subjects, like stuff, it's things that are happening that day. But right now, it's kind of like everything is political. Everything is political.
And when you tune in, do you kind of go, all right, I know what this host is all about. And you kind of look past that and go, all right, I'm there really for the interviews or the production value.
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I don't watch late night anymore.
I don't either. I don't either.
So even with some of the interviews, some of the people I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
And those the ones that I do. I think we're in an era where I see them all the time. I don't need to go to late night to watch that person because they're on some podcast. Yeah. They're doing some other interview. What else are they saying that I don't see?
Well, now they clip all the best parts too, so why do you even have to?
You don't have to. I don't even watch football like that anymore.
I can't. I have to watch football.
I mean, to be honest, as a coach, I look at the game differently, and because we do a lot of we have a system called Huddle, and it breaks down the different plays and so on and so forth, and I'm sitting up there with my son, and I'm training him on how he should respond to certain things because he plays defense. But outside of that, man, I don't need to sit and watch the game anymore. I don't need to sit and watch watch NFL games, I'll just watch clips of it, see who scored and what they did, how they do it, and go from there.
Hey, I want to talk about this because you are a coach. Let's say there is a technology out there, somewhat of like a video game, and because of AI, you can go in and you can put in all your stats for your players, your high school players. Let's say you're doing college or pro or whatever. You put it all in there and then run simulations. Do you feel that that would actually give me an accurate output of what I need to improve on, or would you feel like it's just another tool? Do you think?
It's like the introduction of technology is the best thing, and I think that's a great idea. One of the things that I've been talking to CLP about. I'm part of Thrive Football Training. So our coaches, in fact, one of the coaches is the first quarterback for UCF.
Okay.
Yep, Coach Cullison, and we talking about how to integrate technology into the game a lot. Like right now, if you go online, you can check out Texas Tech. So Patrick Mahomes bought Texas Tech a video room. So once you walk into the room, there's a video wall that is almost 50 yards.
You can't hide money.
You can't hide money like that. Texas Tech has a ton of money. So when you walk into the room, you have the video of the practice in the room, right? So.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so when you walk
VR
in,
kind of?
Well, not virtual reality. It's just more or less playing on the screen. So you're seeing it, like you're seeing on the screen. And what it allows you to do is you can take a secondary, right? So you can take your 4 guys, your 2 safeties, your 2 corners, or you can take linebackers, you can throw them in there. And it allows them to get mental reps without being on the field, hitting each other or running through. It's mental reps. So you can watch the necessary steps it takes when a receiver releases, when a running back releases.
That's cool.
So now you're tracking them.
Yeah.
Right. And you're also listening for, a lot of people don't realize, but there's a lot of communication that's happening on the field, whether they're checking down or, they're seeing the offense do something different that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
So they're going to adjust their defense, adjust coverage. They may have to roll coverage. So there's a lot of communication that's happening on the field. And now you get to, as a coach, see that happening in real time, listening and making sure that they're communicating, looking at their steps. So we're doing something different. So we're partnering with CLP and the video wall, the 18-foot video wall. We're going to offer that opportunity for coaches, for quarterbacks, or any player that wants to come in, and we're going to help you work on your eyes. That's part of it. Help you work on your steps and train you how to be a better football player in the position that you're in. So for QBs, when you go raise that arm, you're trying to throw, there are certain mechanics that go along with that. For linebackers, especially my son, he plays outside linebacker. There are certain mechanics that you have when you're, playing a slide or you're, attacking and run. So there are opportunities to have mental reps, having your kid go over and over again to give them that edge instead of just having them on the field all the time.
I think there's a lot in actually seeing things, because you can anticipate it. It usually will find out. It'll do fine.
Check this out. You're seeing and moving at the same time. So it's not just like you're at home sitting down. And that's the great thing about the Texas Tech. You're actually just moving. And it's enough space where you can put everybody in a real situation.
Is it like Disney has the Marvel studios where it's like obviously not to this extent, but it's like a dome and they can actually shoot like the scenes, like if they're flying through the sky, they make the clouds.
No, it's not that elaborate.
But I mean,
it's big enough.
But it's
big
along
enough.
those lines.
Yes, it's along those lines. Yes.
That's interesting to see.
Yeah, man. But that's that technology piece. We're talking about integrating more technology. The NFL has been doing it for a long time. A lot of technology that you see now, they won't get credit for it. Well, they do a little bit, but the XFL. Remember, back in the day, right? Back in the day, everybody
he hate me.
Yes. So the XFL, but the cam that flies in, and so that's a product of the XFL. The NFL purchased. Right. So there's a lot of stuff. Right. And you're talking about now with CTE and all that stuff because it happens.
Explain CTE.
CTEs, when you've had too many hits to the head. Some people call it punch drunk and so on and so forth, especially in the boxing world because it's happened to a lot of boxers. But, again, they say that their technology in the helmets now have not eliminated, but it's made it a lot better the way that the helmets are formed, and you can get a personalized helmet. I mean, they cost about $1,500-$1,600, but your child can go put on they call them shiesties, the poo shiesties. Put that on, and the computer will scan their head. Then it will create a helmet for them that's specific for their head. Right. So they're putting that on. It's specific for them. So now you're not getting a general helmet that every other kid gets. You're getting a helmet that's tailored to you. So their technology is just going up and up. And the kids don't even wear knee pads anymore, which I think is weird.
Oh, yeah. No.
There are, I know you're a big fantasy football player, right?
Oh, yeah.
100%. We talked about that one day.
Mm-hmm.
There is new technology that is they're working on right now where they're going to put thousands of little cameras, kind of like a little cameras right here. Imagine that on a baseball field, football field, or whatever. And now, and they can group them all together. And if you're watching a game, and you go, man, I wonder what it looks like behind the linebacker. You would be able to mouse down into it and get that shot from
That'll be cool.
And really cool. All they have to do is fill in the spaces between the cameras that maybe, and AI already does that easily. And imagine doing it just that quickly. So the way we, again, back to full circle of what we're talking about, how AI is set up just to distract us, give us that entertainment. Well, I was explaining.
You feel like you're in a game.
I was explaining AI, how it's always nice to you the first time, any question that you ask. But think about the majority of what's being put into AI right now is all, hey, show me Mitch playing with a cat naked, and then so AI is thinking, well, all these humans, all they want to do is just see stupid videos. So, no wonder it thinks I'm an idiot.
Well, I mean, I would say this too, and that's the most dangerous part of it.
We're
losing creativity, and I see it, right? So I'm, as director of social media for the state of Florida, for the Shriners, I'm looking at what my groups are putting out as far as flyers and stuff, and it's all AI. They don't even try to, put some sort of creativity in it.
They're not even trying to hide it at this point.
There's no need to hide it. You just put it through AI, and that's the hard part. But AI is making us dumb.
All right. We're going to wrap things up here. Before we do, though, I wanted to make mention of a great TV show that is out now. We kind of ended up with what I'm watching. I'm going to ask you guys as well, what's your favorite TV show? Give us a brief synopsis right now. If you have Apple TV, you have got to watch Widow's Bay. It's got Matthew Reese in it, Stephen Root. It's basically about a mayor of a small New England island that is possessed, or is cursed, rather. And all the funny, it looks like a scary TV show, but it is hilarious in very subtle ways. Check it out. It comes out every Wednesday. I believe the first 4 episodes are already out. Do you have Apple TV?
I do not.
Go buy it now and watch this show. It is that good, Keegan. So we'll jump to you. What are you watching?
It's funny with me. There we go. It's funny with me because I don't watch a lot of newer stuff, but something I've been watching.
Who? And I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
we were talking about late night hosts. Guess who his favorite is? Just take a look.
Who?
No, take a guess.
Just like
Johnny Carson.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number
Jay Leno.
Tell him.
Dick
Cavett.
Yeah, I never know how to say his last name.
Y'all didn't know about Dick Cavett, man.
He was telling me about it. Yeah,
did your dad show you that?
What? No, I found it myself. I was telling it. I literally, I found it. I was watching. I got was doing a rabbit hole into the Orson Welles thing and all that. And so he did an interview with him, and I'm like, oh, I'm just curious, who is this guy? So I started watching it, and then that led to another one.
That's old school.
I know, but that makes me feel good because that was just interviewing. It wasn't let's make fun of the president. Or
that was a different time.
That's why I like it. It's I just want to figure out,
what. That was a different time.
Just completely, I was about to say, completely different time.
All right. So I interrupted you, but what do you watch, Keegan? I mean, I don't imagine, I hate to sound like an old man, but you probably watch
You're not even going to know what I'm about to say. But some people will. So I don't watch a lot of new stuff, but right now I've been watching this new Star Wars series, Maul Shadow Lord, and it's really
Disney.
Cool.
Yeah. Is that on Disney? Okay.
I don't like associating Star Wars with Disney. Okay, we're gonna stop that right
but
there.
They bought it. They bought it for $4 billion.
They bought it. They ruined it. My personal opinion, they ruined it.
You don't think? You know what it is? I think. So I'm hearing you, and I know exactly what the series is. I won't watch it because I know the history of Maul and all that stuff. But what I would say is this: they bought they wanted their return on investment. and people will always criticize no matter what you put out. So I don't think they were in a losing situation when it comes to Star Wars anyway. Just like with Star Trek, they did that new Starfleet Academy stuff. It's trash.
Oh yeah,
but no matter what you do,
tons of Star Trek
when it comes to like those franchises, people are like obsessed with. I mean, when they buy, they create their own cosplay, they do all this stuff. No matter what you do, it will not be good enough. Right? No. So they're in a lose-lose situation.
Let me ask you this. So I've been hearing like they think that the new Star Wars movies they did in the last decade, they think in the next 15 years they're going to get the love that the prequels that everybody hated.
Never.
I agree.
So
never.
You went from Luke to the young lady. I don't even know who it is.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks. Then you made, but I forgot his name in the bodega. The young kid from Britain. You teased that he was going to be a Jedi. Did not make him a Jedi. It was weird. You don't want to bring back Sammy J. We didn't see him die, so we don't know if he died.
They could do a whole series on that.
If they did a whole series on Sammy J, you know how many people would just watch it?
I'd watch.
Because that's bringing back that old Star Wars and all that stuff. Even those films got, you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, now people my age, like, we love them now. Like to me, like those three, I like more than the originals.
Really? I don't know, man. The originals was.
And we all know Samuel Jackson had a different color lightsaber,
yes,
right?
He had a purple lightsaber.
I figured that was the case.
James,
what do you watch?
You know why
TV?
though?
Well, tell me why.
All right. He played on both sides of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It was like a gray Jedi. So he used a little bit of anger to do some stuff, but he understood the good. That's why.
I heard he wouldn't do it unless he had a different color.
That's true. No, that's
the real reason.
That is true, but that's true. That is true. But my show, man, I'm all over the place. I'm a big sci-fi guy. But the show I cannot absolutely live without is Monarch. I love that show. That's on Apple.
Help me get past the first, because it was such
Monarch.
It
started slow. It started slow, but it started speeding up. I mean, you don't get introduced to Godzilla until this latest season.
Okay.
But you see everything else. But Monarch, man, that show is off the chain. I love it.
Based off a true story,
That's
right?
based off Yep. We got Godzilla, we got King Kong, we got other animals,
and that's just
Titans
that's just who he's dated.
That's it. That's it. But I love that show. And you know what? Another show, I want to say one of our former co-workers was in it, For All Mankind.
Yes, Victoria.
Yeah,
yes.
Victoria was in it. She was one of the wives. She was one of the wives. So I like that show too.
That is a good one. I've watched it. You're right.
I like that show too. But so it's so much stuff, man. Even the show that you're talking about,
Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay, is the fog.
The fog. It is.
It's the fog, man. So it's like, come on, what's up?
Your homework assignment is get Apple TV. So
I was about to say, I gotta catch up on these shows.
And you got to watch Rooster with Steve Carell. It's really more fast paced, but great comedy stuff there. We would appreciate all of y'all for tuning in, and make sure you tell all your friends. Of course, this is where you go on me.
That's what.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was like, I don't know.
I'm using that one.
I would have been here early. I thought you guys didn't want me in here. I was wondering. I was like standing outside.
James, we want you're always welcome to come at any time. I wanted to talk. See, you added a lot to the show already, so I appreciate that. So anyway, but we appreciate you at home or wherever you're at, listening to the show, watching the show. OPINIOnishpodcast.com is the website to get all the latest episodes, and the ones, of course, that have already aired as well. Please tell your friends about us. We're also on social media. Just look for OPINIONish or OPINIONish Podcast, and you'll be able to find it. Any final thoughts, Keegan, with your hey, good job not taking one pee break during this whole hour.
I know, man. Why you keep eating? Look at drinking these. Good God. We need to invest in that, man.
We should have. Any final takeaways?
Well, I just want to say this has been fun. Thank you guys for...
Maybe we'll have you back. You did good.
I want to come back. Let me come back.
Sweet baby James. What is camera? Is this camera messed up?
No, it's not.
So, no worries. No worries.
Well, it's
the ladies
AI
know
camera.
how beautiful I am.
Take it so I could show everybody.
Hey, ladies.
Okay.
All right. So be prepared. We got another one coming over a glass. And we're going to get into some relationship stuff, though.
All right. Very good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Y'all take care. See you when we look at you. Be good or good at it. This is OPINIONish.